Step into my warm and cozy farmhouse kitchen today as I prepare some hearty meals for my family. Now, whether you feel like cooking dinner tonight or just need to get it on the table, I have a little bit of everything in this video for you. We'll be cooking up a warm and hearty potato soup, working on a dump and go dessert, and finishing off with a delicious pasta with a little bit of sourdough bread in between. Join us. Hello there, sweet friend. Welcome back to my farmhouse kitchen on this wintry day. Tonight I'm working on a weeknight soup, and we're just going to make it here in the Instant Pot because sometimes it's just the easiest thing. That way, depending on when we eat dinner or who's walking in the door late, it will stay warm and ready. Sometimes I just like to break out this thing and use the saute mode. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And it's going to be an easy weeknight dinner other than a lot of chopping. But in a winter kitchen, I don't mind that. I actually find that kind of therapeutic. It's a good time to either do it in silence, listening to however silent it is, listening to kids in the background. Or if I'm by myself, sometimes I will even listen to a good podcast or something. I find it so enjoyable whenever we hit seasons like this where I can actually be in the kitchen for long enough to chop an onion and potatoes. So tonight we're working on a potato soup, and it's going to be a little bit of everything and remnants left over from other meals that are in our refrigerator. So I'm going to start with some butter and some onion. What could go wrong with that, base? I also have one little leftover broccoli crown, so I am just going to dice it up. And just fully note here that I could wait to put the broccoli in until the very end, and that way it would stay bright and beautiful, but I honestly just kind of want it to cook in and be nice and, dare I say, mushy with the potatoes. I'm sorry if I'm losing some of you there, but it's just, I don't want to sit around and wait to put anything else in this. I just want to chop it, drop it, and be done, and so that's what we're doing on this weeknight, and this soup turned out delicious. So if you do it this way, it's maybe not the prettiest, but it is delicious, so stay with me. Now on this weeknight, I am also battling a sink full of dishes from the day. It's just been a busy day, and I usually try to load the dishwasher throughout the day and keep things tidy, but today has just been one of those days, so we're going to wash the potatoes over the squeaky ducks and over the dirty dishes and get them all scrubbed up so that we can prepare them for the potato soup. Now I will say we are getting down to the last of some of the potatoes we've had. Some of them we've had to toss. Some of them have really ugly spots in them. So it took me a little while to get all of the nasty stuff off of some of these potatoes tonight, but it will be worth it in the end. And I didn't fully peel these potatoes either. I don't really do that very often whenever, especially if it's a weeknight dinner for my family. And in this soup, I honestly didn't notice any potato skins at all. So I guess they were fairly thin, and it just didn't bother anybody in our family for this recipe. On a weeknight, if it's not necessary, we're not doing it. So I'm going to chop these potatoes pretty small. I want them to be in small cubes. That way they'll cook faster and be ready to throw together. Now, around New Year's Eve, I made a potato soup, but it was more like a loaded baked potato soup. And so it kind of has the same base to it, but instead of doing like a ham and broccoli like I am tonight, the savory component was more like started with bacon, and I added it, more green onions and like a sharp cheddar cheese. So I just feel like there's lots of different variations you could do, but tonight's soup is going to be a savory component with some of this ham that I have left over. Just had some thick sliced deli meat left over in our refrigerator, and I thought that would be really yummy with the broccoli. And then I also have some cream cheese that I have maybe like a third of a block left. So I'm going to toss that in at the very end, and I have some heavy cream. So it's going to be a really rich and flavorful soup. And then we're going to finish it off with a little Asiago cheese just for a little sharp bite at the end. So I'm just it's like everything but the kitchen sink going into this potato soup tonight, but it turned out so good. And I actually ended up taking some pictures, not great pictures, but pictures nonetheless, so that we could add this recipe to the blog, because I know for one, I would like to make it again. And I hope that if you think it looks delicious, you'll give it a try yourself. Now on the saute function, I was just letting that butter melt. I hit the onion in there and let it kind of saute for a while. And then I added in the broccoli and the ham and just kind of let that work on saute mode, and then adding liquids in. I was going to add some homemade chicken broth, but I didn't have any. I actually didn't have any broth on hand, which is very unusual. We're just finishing up remnants still from like holidays and stuff. And I just happened to have that huge container of chicken bouillon, like base that I had bought a long time ago for a specific recipe. And I didn't realize it was like this huge container of it, but it has come in handy just to have in the back of the cupboard on nights like this when I just need a stock of some sort. It adds just the right flavor, and it's better than just adding water. So I threw that in there, as you saw, and then I just kind of let this simmer with the lid on for a little while. You could run it on manual mode, but I would only do it for a minute or two. And then I hit it with the immersion blender just enough to make it a little bit more creamy. Use some of that starchiness from the potatoes to thicken it up a little bit, but I also left it kind of chunky. And then I added in about a third of that stick of cream cheese. Like I told you, I had about a half a cup of heavy whipping cream left over that I needed to get used up. And then maybe a cup, maybe not quite a cup of cheddar cheese that I had shredded in the refrigerator. So again, we're just kind of tossing all of these random things I had left over, but it did make one delicious soup. And I did need to mention that I also added in salt, pepper, and thyme, and I thought that really made a nice seasoning for this soup. It was delicious. It definitely hit the spot. It was kind of like one of those moments where I was like, that's good. Dance a little. It's a good cozy night in the kitchen. Now, as usual, I will have all of the ingredients and all the instructions that you need in the description box below. Now, since we were actually at home on this evening and I was enjoying my kitchen, I kind of talked myself into spending a few more minutes while the kitchen was already dirty to take care of some of this bread that was about to go bad. A friend of mine had sent us a whole bunch of food, and she bakes bread and brought a whole bunch of extras, and I wanted to get it frozen, but I just kind of didn't want to just freeze it because I still have some bread frozen. So I thought I want to do something else with it so that I can just pull it out and it's ready to go. So tonight I'm taking part of it and making garlic bread, and I'm gonna flash freeze this with butter and garlic, a little bit of parsley and Asiago cheese, and I'm gonna freeze those so that we can have garlic bread anytime we want to pull out a few slices. And then I'm gonna take the other small loaf and make like a breakfast bread pudding, but a savory kind. So kind of a breakfast casserole, I guess you could say, depending on what you want to call it. So over here on the garlic bread, I simply spread a whole bunch of butter on this, and then I hit it with garlic powder and some parsley, and then I just shredded up some more of that Asiago cheese that we had tonight over the top. So very simple here, and it did the trick, but I think if I wanted to make it extra special, I would probably do like a real herbed butter with real like minced garlic just to give it a little bit more flavor. But for tonight, this was an easy thing to do, and I feel like I have something a little bit more special than sliced bread in the freezer ready to go. Now, moving back into our breakfast casserole, we're starting with a base of the cubed sourdough bread, and I had greased the pan with just a little bit of avocado oil. And then I have some breakfast sausage that I had browned up earlier this week. I had made like breakfast sandwiches for the kids, and I just had a little bit left, so I went ahead and cooked it so it would be ready to go for the week, and it really came in handy, as you'll see later in this video how I used the rest of it. It's coming up next. But I used part of it for this. I just sprinkled it over the top of that bread, and then I'm adding about 8 eggs here and just some egg whites. That's completely optional. I just have a bunch of egg whites in the refrigerator that need to be getting used, and I always like to add a little extra protein, you know, just because. So I'm adding some garlic salt to that, and then some cracked black pepper just to mix this up. And then I also decided to add a little bit of dried thyme here as well. Now, I've heard that adding milk to your scrambled eggs or to your casseroles really has no effect on how fluffy your eggs are. But hey, old habits die hard. I watched my mom and my grandma and my aunts always add a splash of milk to the eggs. So I don't know, let me know in the comments below if that's something you still do. I just do it out of habit, I think, at this point. And now I'm shredding some sharp cheddar cheese. I'm going to add that over the top, and then we are going to add the egg mixture over everything. Now I'm planning on just popping this casserole into the freezer. I thought it would be a nice future weekend breakfast, maybe on a morning where I'm not really feeling like being in the kitchen, but I still want something kind of special. So I'm going to wrap this with plastic wrap. And then I'm also going to wrap it with foil and stick this in the freezer for another day. But you could definitely just put this overnight into the refrigerator and bake it the next morning if you wanted to. I think for me, the hardest part about this recipe going forward is going to be remembering to take it out the night before and let it thaw before I bake it. So to be continued there, my friends. But I feel really good in the amount of time it took me to finish cleaning up the kitchen for the night. These garlic breads are ready to stack and stick into a freezer bag. So I'm just going to get those tucked away for another night. I love that we can just take out what we need. As you will also see later in this video, we took out a few of these for dinner. So stick around if you want to see how these turned out, but they were delicious as a side and so convenient. I didn't want to waste my parchment paper, so I'm just rolling it up and sticking it here in the bag so that I can use it as I go the next time I need it whenever we go to baking bread. Dump that in here real carefully. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know you knew that. As you can probably see, I am getting a lot of help from a really quick dessert here tonight in the kitchen. I had to leave some of the real audio in here for you guys because it made me laugh. I definitely am not the most patient I think it comes across that I'm super patient cooking with my kids all the time, but I'm often like cringing, like please don't make a huge mess. So tonight we are making a very easy dessert though. I was just in the mood for something chocolatey, just really chocolatey, and I almost wanted one of those like lava cakes, but we didn't have really anything to make in the kitchen and I didn't really feel like baking something elaborate. So this was the perfect thing. It's like a dump cake. So I happened to have a cake mix and a pack of instant pudding, but it was butterscotch flavor, which worked just fine with this. It was delicious. And then you add a stick of butter, a couple cups of milk, and as you saw, I had a little extra half and half I threw in there. And then we topped it with whatever chocolate chips and broken chocolate we could find in the pantry.
Mix it up, toss it in the pan, open the oven, put it in.
All right, help me put it in the oven. That's super hot. So let me do this part. 25 mementos.
Good.
This was such a delicious and very rich and dreamy dessert on a night where you didn't really feel like baking anything, but now we have this warm ooey gooey cake. And I just happen to have the very bottom of a salted caramel ice cream left in the freezer. It's not enough for everyone in the family, but when we paired it with this cake, it was delicious and just the perfect addition on top. Now, moving forward to another weeknight dinner I wanted to share with you this week. You can see me here thinking through some leftovers that I have found in the fridge and pairing my tomato products with my cheeses and trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to think it over with this random Diet Coke I found in the refrigerator. That is something that doesn't really end up in our refrigerator very often. Not really sure where it came from, but it sounded delicious while I was making dinner tonight. And I guess it put me into like 90s mom mode, and I'm going to make like an elevated hamburger helper. So for some reason, this just reminded me of my childhood, but this hamburger helper is going to be so much better than the old boxed stuff, so stick with me. Now, I grabbed a can of tomatoes that I had in our basement pantry. If you missed that video, I'll try to link it in the description box below, but I'm loving it so far, having all of that stuff down there to grab from. So I needed a little bit of an extra tomato product because, as you can see there, I only had maybe a cup left of some marinara that needed to get used up in the refrigerator. So that's going to help me. Also, not in this video because my camera was not focused, I added in at the very beginning some garlic and some tomato paste, which really helps give a lot more tomato flavor to this. So don't skip that part. And then I'm adding in some parsley, dried parsley I had there, onion powder. Again, you could have sauteed an onion with that sausage in the beginning. That would have given it some great flavor, but I did not do that part. But again, we're going for more of a hamburger helper, so it would not have had onion in it, right? I also added a little bit of garlic salt into this too. And to make sure I cover my box of pasta, I added in about a cup to a cup and a half of water, rinsing out my marinara jar, as you may have seen there too. So you just want to make sure that you have plenty to cover the surface of your noodles and then cover it for a while. Now here I am pulling out some of that garlic sourdough bread that we made the other night. It's already coming in handy. It's just me and the girls here this evening, so I'm just going to stick in a few pieces now, and then when the boys get home from practice, I will be sure to heat them up some for their dinner as well. Now I'm just kind of like covering this and then, every few minutes checking it and making sure nothing's sticking. I'm also using a non-stick ceramic coated pan here, which really helps. You may have to check it and stir it a little bit more often if you're not using something like that. I'm just doing dishes and stuff in the background as it's cooking, and it is smelling so good here in the kitchen. This is another one of those nights that I wasn't really feeling like making dinner, honestly. I didn't want to do a whole lot of work, and this was perfect. It was just a one pot dinner for the win. So I have very little cleanup, and that is always the name of the game. So to finish off this pasta, when it is al dente, I'm going to add in about a third to maybe almost a half of this 8-ounce block of cream cheese. It's going to give it so much richness and add to the sauce. And again, mostly because I didn't have a whole lot of pasta sauce in this dish, I wanted to make sure it stayed really creamy. So I also needed to use up some of this cottage cheese from the refrigerator. So I put in a good solid cup of cottage cheese, and it melted into there like a dream. So if you're like, ooh, I don't like cottage cheese, I would give this a try anyway. You're adding protein and creaminess, and you're not gonna know that it's cottage cheese. Again, with the cream cheese in there, I'm gonna let this melt with the lid on for a few minutes and then top it all with Asiago cheese. I personally topped mine with just a little bit of crushed red pepper as well, and it was so delicious. It was so flavorful, and in my opinion, like most pasta dishes, it was even more delicious the next day.